So welcome to another Wardy's Waffle Farm update. Just before we get into that, I just wanted to touch on a little bit in politics. While we were away in Crete, yes, Boris resigned, which is great. I'm glad he's gone. But I don't know whether anybody who's going to replace him is going to be any better, but it just makes me smile when you see all the candidates coming forward and doing their little pieces and trying to get the rest of the MPs to support them and promote their ideas, saying that they need to get back, the Conservatives need to get back to being a more honest party, and they need to get back to supporting the public and all this, that and the other. Well, they're the ones that were part of the last government, and they're the ones that's caused all the problems. We're lying through the teeth with everything, and now they're saying that they need to get back to being more honest. Well, they should have thought about that and realised that when they were doing all these things and telling all these lies in the last few months and the last few years since they came into power. Anyway, enough of politics. So on to this week's update. What have we been doing? I went to the Great Yorkshire Show for the day with Forage Aid. We had a stand there with the other charities and met Princess Anne as well and had a good chat with her, which is the first time I met Princess Anne, so that was good. And then I was invited to talk on stage with 4 or 5 other people to a group of people from Lincoln, from the local enterprise partnership of Lincoln, looking at tourism, the food industry, and also the hospitality industry. So that was great, giving them sort of my view from a farmer's perspective on food and where we are in the future, looking at robotics and food production, all sorts of things. So that was really good. I enjoyed that. And then we've got a few little snippets of updates from the workshop and various bits around the farm. So that's it for now for me. So let's get into this week's update. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy it, and please come back with any questions and like and subscribe. And here we go. One more thing as well, we do actually go in with the sprayer, and I spray some glyphosate on some oats on just 2 fields on the light land, because the oats are soon be ready, but the straw is very, very green. So we have a look at that. Whereas this field of wheat here behind me, it's coming on, but it's not quite ready. We've got 1 or 2 ears you can see here are getting that way, but I think these will be another probably 10 days off. So anyway, let's get into this week's update. I'm at the Great Yorkshire Show. Come here with Forage Aid. This is in the Young Farmers area where the other charities are. We've got FCM behind us. Addington is the orange marquee as well. We've got Young Farmers here, and there's currently a world record attempt going on at making as many cups of tea in, I don't know whether it's an hour, I can't just remember what it is, but the world record attempt going on. But this is the big charity area. Just met Princess Anne as well. She's come in and had a word with us all. They are always very supportive, the royal family are, in all the charities and the work that we all do in trying to help the farming industry and anybody connected in agriculture. And so it's great to be involved with them. And yeah, she was great, really interesting talking to us. First time I met Princess Anne, so she was great. So we've got Georgie here. Yeah.
I am Senior Partnerships Manager for FCM, for the nation.
Oh, for the nation, look at that, fantastic. So yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a wander around. And here we have all the charities in here, and Forage Aid is there, and the rest of them here, and the Farming Help Partnership there. Lots of agricultural stands here with machinery. Here's Ripon. A lot of people as well. Day one this is. Here's the Unimogs. Meant to be really good, but I've never driven one. That's good, front mounted hedge cutter, verge mower. Moves along on that frame for offset, and you can send it either left or right looking at that. Turn it round on there, and then that's got a little turntable on there, so when it cuts the other side you just turn the head round, and it's out the front, which is great, much better for seeing. Kramer forklifts. I know a few people have got them, they say they're good. Of course, the obligatory Bailey trailers. New, I thought. So what model's that? 3610, so I presume that would be 10 metre, 3.6 tonnes. 3-stage boom.
Andy.
Hey, how you doing? So these trailers haven't changed too much from ours, but the vertical panels there are different, and the back is the biggest change here. Ours has got, in the back here, has got a bit of angle line instead of that box, so when you pull away from the heap, you have grain lodged in it, it drops. But now there's a box section there that no grain can get stuck in there, which is a lot better. That's inside. Arched front window, easy sheet, grain hatch.
I don't need much pleasing me. I had a very hard life, but that is fantastic. That is. Yeah, it's nice.
Fent combine. That's the 8T. I think they're doing 9. I don't know whether they're a 10. I know they're 9. "12-metre header by the look of it. It's a tall track compared to the New Hollands and cases that we have. Not taller than a quad track. TC Harrison, they've got a branch in Lincoln, but they're more construction rather than ag. The NFU have a big presence here at the show. Lots of clothing and these type of stands selling everything you can imagine. Morrison's also here, gonna nip in here and have some lunch. They're great supporters of Forage Aid and all the charities. And at Christmas time last year, when they had the food boxes, they gave a percentage of all the takings from the food boxes to the farming help charities. So it was really, really good of them. So they're great supporters.
Programme and this new look at carbon, a topic everybody talks about and most of us scratch our heads about, and understanding, how can we move forward with this. So we're really excited to be working on this project at Farm Carbon Toolkit. We're farmer-led, and our real aim is to try and empower farmers to understand practically what they can do to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, to improve their energy resilience, with a particular focus on what that does to business performance and overall resilience.
This is inside the main area. This shows all that they do in the produce that Morrison sell. Well, just come out of Morrison's and just had a really good presentation from Becky from the Farm Carbon Toolkit, all about carbon capture and what we need to be looking at. And thank you, Morrison's, for fantastic steak sandwich as well. And as I've already said, incredibly supportive of UK agriculture. So that's it. That's the end of the first day of the Great Yorkshire Show, and my only day here wearing my Forage Aid hat. You can see the car park's still quite full. It's 6:30 in the evening. There's lots going on at the minute, a lot of music going on, and a few parties, after show drinks, receptions, which I've been to a couple, but now driving home to Lincolnshire. So a great day. Thanks everybody for organising, and the Yorkshire Agricultural Society for the invitation, and also for the position of our stand with FCN and Addington Fund in the Young Farmers area. So thank you very much. Just about to start the Stokes Coffee 120th anniversary, and it's helping out hospitality. We've got a big audience here that we're going to be discussing food and the hospitality and tourism industry going forward. Lots of issues, but hopefully we'll have a lot of questions and a lot of points to put across. in front of this great audience in the lawns in the middle of Lincoln.
And fundamentally, the ambition is that we have some commentary from all of you to try and get to the bottom of the challenges in the hospitality sector and really start to think strategically about how we can overcome some of those challenges and maybe even get pioneering.
Dispel that myth and actually encourage hospitality businesses to source more locally, that doesn't result in them having to put up their prices to their customers.
Brilliant, thank you. Oh, what a great question.
That really speaks exactly to yeah. Thanks for that question, because that really does speak to exactly what we're doing in Cambridge. And I'm glad you referred to that as dispelling the myth. What we're trying to do in Cambridge with this food hub is very much about managing the supply chain much more efficiently.
We're just having lunch at this fantastic venue, this hospitality venue for 120 years for Stokes Coffee, and I've got two fantastic people here I've just met, Jeff and
Holly
Holly, and you are?
from Business Lincolnshire Growth Hub.
And this morning, let's go. Have you enjoyed it?
I've really enjoyed it, very informative. I've learned a lot about farming and the struggles that you have, so thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. No,
Perceptions truly changed.
yeah, but you were saying Clarkson's Farm as well, that it did a bit of that when
Yeah,
you
definitely
watched that.
did.
Yeah,
But you as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, we enjoy Clarkson Farm as an industry. We thought it's a great, it's a great TV series. It brought
Absolutely.
a lot of the things, good things and bad things that we have to deal with out into the public.
A greater understanding, absolutely.
Yeah, great. So are you here all afternoon?
We are, yeah, we're here. We're not here for cocktails.
Oh, well, I'm just going to nip off
from.
I'm going to nip off for a meeting, and hopefully I'll be back for cocktails. So I
Very
won't see
nice
you.
too.
Ah, lovely. Pleasure to meet you.
And you, thanks. So this is the Stokes, what is it, roastery? Training Academy for Stokes Tea and Coffee. And I remember coming here, or coming to Stokes Coffee when I was a child with my mother on the what's the bridge? On the High Bridge, yeah. And so these are all the different coffees that they've got, and I will be doing a full YouTube review and update on this fantastic business in the next couple of weeks. As we're still nearly a couple of weeks off harvest, we did get the oats sprayed off with glyphosate yesterday, and Ruben got that done, but we're just getting the machinery ready and all tidied up and cleaned, ready for the start of harvest. So the Manitou's had a real good wash outside and inside by the look of it, so that's a good job done there. And then one other workshop job, if you remember, a few weeks ago we had the Bowser in here, and we cut the top out and put a new lid on it because we couldn't clean it out properly because of the various compartments in there. We couldn't get to them, so Ian's cut this off and put a lip on it all round. You can see there, welded the lip on, and we've put a new lid on it, put a rubber seal in, obviously that's for filling it, and then also he's got the pump all sorted as well. Wanted some new diaphragms and seals in, so that's all on and done as well, so that's good. All ready to go now. Put 3,000 litres of red diesel in it at whatever it is, £1.20 a litre. I need to. Then another job they've been doing, this is one of the toolboxes off the quad track, and up to now this Puma's only had this small plastic one on, and there's not enough room to put any spare parts or full set of tools, so we've just welded a little bracket on there, not a top link, and just put that on the front linkage. You might say, well, what happens if you move the linkage? Well, the tap's turned off there, so we can't move the linkage. But it's not like a full one of those big weight boxes on the front with lights and everything. It's just a sort of one, just low cost one. We had the box made, so we just thought we'd put it on the front of the Puma. So this is the next one to have a bit of a spring clean. Just walking Frankie and Nala down one of our grass margins on the edge of a belt of trees, and there's a field of beans next to it. I just wanted to show you why managing these margins is so important, and you can't just leave them. We had quite a lot of thistles in this one, so we came along, Tom did, with the Polaris and the sprayer about, I don't know, probably a bit more than a month ago now, and sprayed with the name of the product, Pastor, that's right, which is a grassland herbicide that does a really good job on thistles, nettles and docks. And you can just see here what it's done to these. It's completely taken them out. They're dead right to the root. There's quite a few just here. You can see there how good a job it's done all the way through to the edge there. And this is just one of the examples that we have to do to manage these margins and not just leave them, because they'll get overgrown and swamped by these weeds. So we're just spraying these oats off with glyphosate. We've only got 2 fields here that Ruben's doing. This is on the light land, and this was drilled, this field's after sugar beet, and we're just helping them through to harvest because of the green straw. You can see here quite a lot of green straw, whereas the seed itself is nearly ripe. And these are naked oats. That's doing a good job there. Just remember, when you see a sprayer running like this across a field, it's not all chemical coming out. Most of it is water, and that's the case here. So we have 148.5 litres per hectare of water, and 147.5 litres hectare of water, 1.5 litres per hectare of glyphosate, and 1 litre per hectare of firebrand to make the 150 litres a hectare. But it's done a little bit of damage. This is a tramline that Ruben's already sprayed. Little bit damage here, but not too bad. We'll get some of this up with the combine. But the benefit here, obviously there's a green stem you can see, but it's a lot better doing it with glyphosate rather than letting the weather ripen it. The reason we do it with glyphosate instead of letting the weather do it is because if oats are really notorious for being fit on the seed head at the top here like this, but the straw underneath here, as you can see, being green. And if you leave it for all that straw to ripen, the seed in the top can shell out quite easily. And so if we don't spray it, or if we combine it without spraying it, we're combining green straw. It takes a lot more fuel on the combine because we chop this, remember, as I've said a few minutes ago, we chop this and don't incorporate, we chop it to incorporate the straw. It does more good for us than organic matter. So if we don't chop it, we use far more fuel on the combine chopping green straw. It's a lot slower. And also it can lift the moisture content of the grain, the sort of green straw going through the combine. So this is why we spray with glyphosate. And obviously this is going for pet food, mostly these oats are. But glyphosate, just remember, there are a lot of people saying, or some people say it's carcinogenic, but the World Health Organization have tested hundreds and hundreds of products of food and or various other things, and they have found 98-99% of the things they test is possibly carcinogenic, such as salt, vinegar, fluoride that you brush your teeth with, sunlight, alcohol, coffee. All those are probably carcinogenic. So yeah, looking at these oats now, this is a little set point for harvest, and it will possibly be, I think, about 2 weeks to harvest. But if we're going to get the hot temperatures next week, that might bring it forward. But generally we're going to be 10 days to a fortnight now before we get in here with the combine. And you just see, looking in this tram line here, this has been done. This is the headland tram line here near the edge of the field. This is green, but the Roundup now will kill this. So we'll keep an eye on this, and I'll come back in here and give you an update on this in a week's time just to see how it's progressing. Another trip to Bailey Trailers, and it's to bring our skids from the underneath the combine header. You remember last harvest we had one that went through. We had to bring it quickly in the middle of harvest, so we thought we'd get them sorted before harvest. And you can see this one here has just started to wear down here, just starting to fail. So we're going to have hard ox sheet put on there, the same as they did the last summer. And this is just a little clip, a few seconds of what we did last summer when Bailey's repaired it for us. Then this is the other one, and this isn't starting to go quite. You can just see a line down there, but we're going to have it repaired anyway, so that means all 3 skids. There's 3 on our header. There's a 35-foot header. There's one either end, and there's one in the middle. So the one that was done last year has obviously got hard ox steel. So we're going to do these 2, and then they'll all 3 be done, and they'll last a few years. Then they'll be in good form. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. And just looking at this field of wheat, actually I've just rubbed 1 or 2 grains out. We can just see here. I don't know what you can see from the camera. It's still quite soft, this grain, so it is definitely 10 days off this field. This was one of the first field we planted, so we'll get into some oats in another 10 days or a fortnight. I know we've got a lot of heat coming this week, so we'll see how that performs. But next week we'll look at the oats and the crops and just give you a bit of an idea of where we are ready for harvest. So thank you very much for watching this week's update. Please click like, subscribe, and the bell sound, because we might be doing a few more videos during the week when we get into harvest. Until next time, cheerio.